So in our previous video, we learned how to mention our applications inside the settings.py of a project in order to link the application to the project. We learned how to link our urls.py of our project to the user defined or the file which we created, the urls.py of the application, and we created an HTML phase, or you can say an HTML anything you wanted that you wanted to render a view. You link that view or rendered that view with the help of urls.py of the college application that was in turn linked to the urls.py. Then you understood how to extract or obtain that rendered HTML on its own, that is directly as the home page by using redirect view. What did we do? We mentioned the blank server link that was there. We mentioned the blank part in the application urls.py as home, and we read in the same way that redirected view of the project was directly redirected to the college application. So our normal basic server as link now changed to the server slash our college application slash the home page that we had linked. So in this way, we redirected our URL. That's temporary for now because our motive of the college API is different. So now we need to play with the models.py. You can see there is a models.py here in the application directory. So we need to play with the models.py in order to create database tables. So now, first I would like to explain the code, like I would like to code. So what is our agenda here in the college API? We'll create a subject and we'll display, like there are various subjects and various messages that the faculties or the college need to give it to the students, any announcement or anything. And we'll just try to explore the inbuilt power of Django, that how it obtains some stuff on its own, whatever it's preloaded in that. So I would like to first code and then explain. So you database tables are formed in Django by using classes. I'll mention class. Uh, we are giving subject notices, right? So I would like to give it the name as notice, and then we'll mention models dot model. Why is this mentioned? There is no explanation for that. You can see this models is imported here, and inside this models there is one default model that's created and we are going to use that. So, and now whatever is your entity, or you can say when there are separate columns, right, inside a database table. So whatever columns or whatever entities you want inside your database table, they will be formed here. So what I want to display or make a database table is subject first. What happens next is very easy. So subject equal to models. This is how we define any entity, like you say int I in every language, right? In order to create an integer element. So here, in order to create a column element of our database table, you need to mention models dot. Now subject will consist of a string, a character, right? So here you have to mention models dot char field. It is a character field because alphabets will be mentioned. If there are numbers or something else, there are different fields for that. And inside brackets, we need to mention the maximum length of the character. Uh, any subject won't be as long as 100 characters, so I am just mentioning 100 inside as the maximum length. Then a message. A message won't be a character field. It can be, the message can be a one word message, or it can be a message of 5-6 paragraphs as well. So for that, we will use models.text field and leave the bracket blank because there is not a maximum length defined here. A message can be as long as we want. And now we'll just record the notice created date. So I'll just mention created date as cr underscore date, and I'll mention it as models. The date is a date field, right? So for that also Django has a model predefined. So we'll just mention models dot date time field. See the way I'm writing everything, huh? It's very important. The F and T and C and D, T, F, everything is capital here. Date time field. And what we want is that for Django to automatically extract that date time field. So I'll say auto underscore now underscore add equal to true. This will tell Django that yes, extract or record the created notice date on its own. I'll press Ctrl S. You can see my server was already running and it didn't give me an error. So my models.py part is successful. But now I've stored my server. After making a table called notice with the columns subject, message, and created date, to save and get this table in play in the database, we have to migrate it from the Django ORM. What is an ORM? ORM means object relation model. So what we need to do is what's the basic meaning of migrate? Move from one place to another, right? So we'll move this Django table from one place inside the Django ORM, that is wherever the Django framework is playing itself, and then it will know that yes, there is one database table called notice and it has 3 entities inside. So how to put it inside that ORM? So now focus on the terminal here. In the terminal, we need to put two commands. First one is Python. Again, you need to ensure that you are in the manage.py section. First mention Python, manage.py, make migrations. This will help migrate it to the Django ORM. You can see it says it has migrated and created a model named notice. Now, in order to put it like migrate it for the application as well, now you will have to say Python manage.py migrate and then the college, like the application name, that is college. Now when I do this, okay, I've put a comma instead of a full stop here, I'm sorry. Now you see applying college 001 initial, okay. You can see now in this migrations 0001 initial.py, you can see there are files created inside this migrations directory of our college application that shows that yes, it's confirmed. You now have a database table, and again, just for safety, migrate the make migrations command should be run again. Now you can see no changes detected. That means your database table of notice inside the Django ORM is created successfully. Now, this won't work yet. It now anything when it comes to data has to be managed through the admin, right? So now these tables have to be registered in the admins.py of our college application. So now in the application, it's very simple. You just need to import it and then register it in the admin. Now you already have this admin imported. Now you need to import the model itself. So I'll mention from college dot models import the class name or the database table name that we have created. That was notice. And now to register, the syntax is admin dot site dot register and just the class name, and we are done here. You don't need to do anything else. Just ensure that you are pressing Ctrl S every time to save each and every change that you are going to make. Now, the next part is that this registers the table in the admin. But when you run the server and go to slash admin, now I'll run the server. I'll say Python manage.py run server. And when I go to the server, it's showing me hello world, right? And but it was redirected to our predefined link that was slash college slash home. But now we need to access the admin, right? For that, when you type slash admin, it's loading. You will see that it will ask for a username and password. Now, the thing that comes in your head is that we never set a username or a password, right? But we still need to access the admin interface of Django because we will have to create users and everything. For that, we will have to do the following. Like, in order to get the control of this Django admin, what you need to do is again stop your server, and here in the terminal, I'll clear it for now. In the terminal, you need to write the following command, which is python manage.py create super user. What is a super user? A super user will have all those authorities, and it will ask you to set the username and password that was mentioned in the on the website that's shown here, and you can then log in and access it. Now, what the error I made here, it says python minus.py create and space super user, but it's not the command. Create super user is one word. Now, what does it say? No such table as auth user. Okay, so in order to create a super user, you need to run python manage.py create super user. That error was once a one-time thing. And username, leave blank. It's asking for a username. I'll just put it as admin for now. Email address, if you just put anything, see it's so strong, it will detect that it's not an email. Enter a valid email. So I will say admin at gmail.com. Password, you can put anything. I'll put admin for now. It won't show you the password again. It will say, see, it's so strong. It will say the password is too similar, it's too short, it must contain at least 8 characters, it's common. But you can bypass it. I'll bypass it for now. When you are making a something for a company or something that's official, I recommend you to please follow the norms they are going to mention here. For now, for educational purposes, we can bypass it, no problem. Super user created successfully. Now, when I run the server, python manage.py run server and go here, it shows hello world first. Clear this and put admin. Now, my username was admin. My password was also admin. Now you can see there is a college application here. Groups, users, and everything is something else. You can see there is one user admin at gmail.com and everything. You can do whatever you want to from this admin. Now you can add notices and everything from here. You can see if I add what's the subject. Suppose the subject is machine learning. The message is Harsh likes to explore ML. I just have to save another, save and continue anything, etc. You can see one object gets created and it shows this. In the same way, you can delete everything and such. This interface you didn't code a single line of HTML and it gives you such a strong interface. So now you might be experiencing or feeling that yes, Django is a very good framework when it comes to all this. Now, the next part. After we add, we can see it shows the items, it shows the notice or objects and everything. Now, in order to display the column values like subject, created table, etc., we will mention the admin class inside the admin.py. What does this mean? Now, inside admin.py, what we will do is we'll import from, okay, we'll import from Django dot contrib dot admin dot model options. Just options should be mentioned. We'll import the admin model. For that, we need to mention model admin, M and A are capital here. And now this should be mentioned down and we should mention a class called as notice admin. You can give any name, just mention it properly so that we can actually play the both database through the admin as well. Mention model admin as the argument here. And this you can directly register as I showed you. Uh, this is not compulsory what I'm doing here. List display, like display the list in the subject wise. It will display the list subject wise or created date wise. Like someone wants the recent subject announcements or notices first, they will select the created date option. Others want to refer it subject wise, so they will explore the subject wise. Then we can filter the list underscore filter according to, let's say, the created date only, as I said. And one more thing we can mention is that a search field, search underscore fields, and we actually didn't use messages here. So I'll just to use it, I'll put messages as well along with subject messages. Okay. Now I'll press Control S. Okay. Now what happens here is you can see there wasn't any error. This will just show us the power of Django. Imagine do like you can now in this admin there are now what happens is that in this admin you can display the sub entries subject wise, created date wise, list them, create according to created date and everything. Now I haven't added many elements here. I just added one, so there's no point in wasting time behind that. What I will do is move on to the next part. That is now we'll dive into the phase of making the REST API. In order to do that, we will need serializers. What is a serializer? The serializer links all of this, all these Python files, will link all these Python files, dump it into the REST framework, and then display it and work it as a proper web app. So now I'll stop the server now. What you need to do is create one more serializer.py, a new Python file. I know it's something new again, but you will understand it when we finish it. So I'll create a new file, name it as myserializer.py. You can name it anything or serializer.py, myserializer.py, anything. I've created this. Now everything that we import will be related to REST, and REST. So what will happen is now from REST underscore framework, we'll import serializers. Okay. And what needs to be imported here? The model. What's the model? Our database name. So now from college dot models import notice. We imported the notice, and now again we'll create a serializer class just to link all of that with the REST API. From I'll give it the name as notice serializer, and I'll mention serializer dot hyperlinked model serializer. Hyperlinked model serializer. Now what is this? Hyperlinked model serializer, as the name suggests, what will happen is that you will first get a page which will have a certain section and there will be URLs, and when you click that URL it will take you to the notice serializer, notice section of the database. I'll show it to you. I'll just mention it again. Whenever you run your server, will get as many serial hyperlink. What is a hyperlink? It's a link. When you click it will take you to the perfect or the application you want to go, or the part of the application you want to go. So now when you click hyperlinked model serializer, inside that you have to create a meta class. A meta class is just the syntax here. In order, if you want to dive into what's meta class, search through the documentation or Google it. uh, I don't feel it's important right now to mention what's a meta class. Just remember the syntax. Inside the meta class we have to mention model equal to the model name, that is notice, and fields, whatsoever fields you want to put on your REST API. You can mention it as a list and mention all the names, or there's a shortcut like mention double quote, and inside that mention underscore underscore, not slash hyphen hyphen, underscore underscore, all underscore underscore. This will take all the three entities, that is your subject name, your message, and the created date. Now I'll save it for now. Moving forward, making the serializer views for our REST API, we will add the following to the following class. Now we only have one views.py, right? But the REST API view and the normal view that's going on is different. So now we'll have to go to views.py of our application and do the following things. First, we'll have to import a few stuff. Again, I'm repeating, it will be better if you copy paste everything inside one document and save it when you are trying it on your own. All the imports that I've been mentioning here. So from REST underscore framework import view sets. What is a view set? I'll explain it to you. From, again I have to link it, from college dot models import notice, and I will also have to mention the serializer that we created. You see here in views, the model .py is linked through the import notice. The serializer.py is linked through notice serializer. So I'll mention from college dot my serializer import notice serializer, and all this is okay, but now we'll have to create a class for the notice, our notice database table, and that will be named as, let's name it, we are using a view set, so I'll name it as notice view set. Okay, and I'll mention view sets dot model view set. Now what's a view set? I said that whatever that you want to display on your page, as the name suggests, the view, that view set has been predefined by Django REST and you don't need to hard code everything. Just mention it as the default viewsets.model viewset. Basically, just take it like it's the normal syntax you have to do in order to deploy any machine learning model. So now, not only a machine learning model, any website that you want to deploy on the Django REST API, you just need to do this. And now inside the class, we need to mention a query set. You must have heard in database what are queries, right? So the model name, that is the database table name, notice dot objects, that is all the entities, and just mention all in. What does this mean? That the notice view set has access over everything that the notice database models.py file has. Now, just mention a serializer class also as well. We'll mention it as serializer underscore class equal to, and we created the notice serializer. You see in serialize my serializer.py, we created this notice serializer, right? So we'll mention this notice serializer here. And that's it. We are done in this part for now. I'll save it. And now these view sets, get, create, put, etc., have to be registered using routers. Now you see this view set that we have created, it helps in, like, you can handle the database of Django, that is SQLite 3, from the command line terminal as well. There are various functions like get, create, put, etc., and they have, in order to access that, that has to be all these vsets has to be registered using routers in order to change the URL routes after each and every operation the framework has done. I'll repeat, all those functions have to be registered using routers so that are able to change the URL routes after each and every operation is done in the REST API. So now in college urls.py, college urls.py, what we'll mention is from REST underscore framework import routers, and what I will define is that route what how to handle a router. I'll name it as router equal to routers dot. I'll just use the default router that has been given by Django, default router, and I'll just register the router as router dot register as, let's say, a regular expression R. Then I'll name it as notice. I've mentioned it in a single brace and just mention the view. So I'll select views. Already views have been imported, and I'll just select views dot the view set that we created. Notice view set. Now what happened here? See, the urls.py is linked with the views.py using this command. Now the views.py is linked with the models.py using this notice view set, and also linked to the model serializer, and this serializer in turn is linked with the models.py. Now you saw that how modular programming works, right? Each and every file is interlinked with one another some way or the other, right? So now also in views.py, now we can remove that hello world part here, because that was just for testing purpose, that if we could render our view properly. Now we are not in need of that, so we'll just remove it. And now we can run the server now, and you will see your REST API is ready. Now you will imagine how to run. Like, first, before that, I would like to, okay, home. Before that, we will have to change our urls.py, right? Because the urls.py first was related to our home page. So in the urls.py of our college, we'll do We'll just change the name it as API, and we'll say include router.urls. We've routed all our URLs for the REST API, right? We'll just say include, and we'll mention router.urls there. And down also we'll have to change it to as API slash, because we have named the URL as API here. So I'll also change the default thing to API slash here. I feel now everything is done and that it should work now. So we'll run the server and check. I've run the server successfully. There are no errors here. And now you can see that the root API is created, college.api. And this is the hyperlink model serializer. You can see this notice serializer. And when I click here, you can see that the first one that I had mentioned, machine learning, first like to explore, and the created date as well. Today's date, the time, and plus 5.5, because Greenwich Mean Time and Indian time, like the difference UTC will be there. Now, if you want to put a new subject name, suppose data science here, and let's say XG boost will be used in our ML API. And we'll, if you post it, you can see this was the one that the new entry that we added. It gives us this HTML form as well, but also as I mentioned in the first introduction session, that Django REST works in the JSON format, so you can also mention it in the JSON format. We'll mention artificial intelligence here now, and we'll say AI is the new breakthrough now, and just post it. You can see this now. All again, you can see that there was only one notice created here, right? But when we refresh, you'll see everything in the Django admin interface as well. So now your everything, you can say, can be handled from this section as well, and you can add, delete, and view everything here as well. So now if you go to the root page, you can again see that this is our hyperlink serializer, and all the entries can be seen here now. So this was it for this session. Now you will be thinking how to add more stuff to this API, right? So I'll show it in the next video. Stay tuned and hope you are enjoying the session. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next video.